And Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General, his wife.
Yeah,
Joe Biden's wife, because he would never do it, but she's a hell of a doctor. She's an amazing doctor.
I thought she was a doctor and
PhD.
Yeah, I
could be wrong.
I think she's a teacher, but boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let me tell you guys, Turning Point USA, led by Charlie Kirk and his legal team, are putting the cackling hens of The View through a public humiliation ritual right now. That is the only way I can describe it, okay? Because they have been utterly embarrassed, okay? I cannot think of a more embarrassing moment for The View than what is currently happening right now in regards to the drama going on between the cackling hens and Turning Point USA, after the cackling hens essentially tried to associate Turning Point USA with white supremacist neo-Nazi groups.
Just as bad. I mean, there was this Turning Point conference with all the smoke. What are they, smoking something down there? Or it's like, whatever. Anyway, they were out there, neo-Nazis were in the front of in front of the conference with anti-Semitic slurs and the Nazi swastika and a picture of a so-called Jewish person with exaggerated features, just like Goebbels did in during the Third Reich. It's the same thing, right out of that same playbook. Okay, and DeSantis did not say anything about it. Nothing. So it's his his rendition of good people on both sides. Same idea. So why trade a headache for an upset stomach?
A few moments later.
Okay, so you have to read this thing.
Oh, I've got a legal note. The conservative group.
Sonny normally does this, but
I know.
Yes.
This is our knockoff lawyer.
Okay.
The conservative group, Turning Point USA, has condemned the group of neo-Nazis and said they have nothing to do with the organization.
Yeah, but where was DeSantis is what I want to know.
But you let them in.
President, open your
You let them in and you knew what they were.
Right.
So you are complicit.
And Turning Point USA was like, we're not having any of this. Cease and desist, right? Cease and desist. And The View, ever since they made these ridiculous statements earlier this week, has been doing mental gymnastics, bending over backwards to try to apologize and explain away their comments, which has resulted in them giving so many retractions and apologies. It's hard to keep up with, as we have another apology. Yes, we have another apology. I'm pretty sure you guys heard yesterday, Sara Haines formally apologized for The View's comments on Monday, basically trying to associate Turning Point USA with white supremacy, right? She issued a formal apology on the show yesterday.
Sorry.
So on Monday, we talked about the fact that there were openly neo-Nazi demonstrators outside the Florida Student Action Summit of the Turning Point USA group. We want to make clear that these demonstrators were gathered outside the event and that they were not invited or endorsed by Turning Point USA. A Turning Point USA spokesman said the group, quote, 100% condemns those ideologies, and said Turning Point USA security tried to remove the neo-Nazis from the area but could not because they were on public property. Also, Turning Point USA wanted us to clarify that this was a Turning Point USA summit and not a Republican Party event. So we apologize for anything we said that may have been unclear on these points.
They still invited Matt Gaetz, though, I would just like to know.
Yeah, so you would think that because The View apologized that this is over, right? They issued their formal apology and Turning Point USA is just going to let it go. Apparently, Charlie Kirk don't play like that, right? As they're still not letting it go. They're like, no. We're not satisfied with your apology, okay? We're not satisfied. And the reason why we're not satisfied is because Whoopi was silent during Sara Haines' apology. And they have a problem with Whoopi because Whoopi made some statements during her retraction that basically was her doubling down on trying to associate Turning Point with neo-Nazis in a way that she thought that she would be able to get away with. However, Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA is not stupid. And I want you guys to actually watch these comments from Whoopi that Turning Point USA still has an issue with.
Make a quick clarification about the neo-Nazis at the Turning Point event. They were outside protesters. My point was more metaphorical, that you embraced them at your thing, I felt. So they were not in the building.
They
No,
felt
but you know what?
invited.
You know what? If the so-called Antifa, who are anti-fascist, that's what Antifa stands for, would go there and protest, then Antifa would get a bad reputation. That's why when I hear that Antifa is
right, but that's not. But let me just make sure that everybody, because misunderstanding what people say is very big.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure I know they were not in the building, but they were in the mix of people at the thing.
You know how bad.
So that clip right there, right? Whoopi basically issuing a retraction to a prior statement in which she falsely claimed that Turning Point USA was letting Nazis into the building, right? So she retracts those statements, but doing that statement, she still low-key tries to associate Turning Point USA with neo-Nazis by basically saying, well, I was being metaphorical, right? They metaphorically embraced Nazis. And Turning Point USA is like, again, we're not having this because they've already warned The View that, look, if you guys don't retract your statements, right, like actually give a real apology, no ifs, ands, and buts, if you don't do that, we're going to sue you. We're going to take legal action. And they have leg to stand on because even before the cease and desist letter was issued, they were retracting their statements, right? Because their legal department was telling them like, yo, you're just getting this wrong. You're going to get us into some hot water, right? You're going to get us sued. So lo and behold, today is Thursday, right? Remember, Sara Haines apologized yesterday. Turning Point USA wrote on their Twitter account in response to the apology, basically telling you guys what I just told you, that they're not satisfied with it because Whoopi was silent during Sara Haines' apology, and Whoopi did not retract her comments stating that Turning Point USA metaphorically embraced Nazis, right? They tweeted about this. Whoopi, lo and behold, today issues a apology on air once again for The View. Take a look.
Welcome back. In Monday's conversation about Turning Point USA, I put the young people at the conference in the same category as the protesters outside. And I don't like it when people make assumptions about me. And it's not any better when I make assumptions about other people, which I did. So, my bad. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So
you're an idiot, right? You're an idiot. Okay, guys, imagine how painful that must have been for Whoopi, right? To go on there and be forced to actually really apologize, but not give any ifs, ands, or buts. Because before, when she was retracting her statements, she would always give ifs, ands, and buts to try to still associate those students or Turning Point USA with neo-Nazis, right? She would bend over backwards to try to do it, okay? So imagine what the legal department must have told her that made her go on air and actually give this formal apology with no ifs, ands, or buts. Again, Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA, their legal department, they have thoroughly humiliated and embarrassed The View, especially Whoopi, right? Especially Whoopi, okay? This is more embarrassing than the time that Whoopi suggested that Jill Biden becomes Surgeon General.
And Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General. His wife. Because Joe Biden's wife, because he would never do it, but she's a hell of a doctor. She's an amazing doctor.
I thought she was a doctor and
PhD.
Yeah, I
could be wrong.
Maybe
I thought she was
I think she's a teacher, but
she's an amazing doctor, right? An amazing doctor. Bruh, oh my God, man. I've been saying this for so long, bruh. These women, these cackling hens should be fired, right? They really should be fired. And I'm not saying it because I disagree with them politically. I'm saying it because they're bad at their jobs. They have no business talking about the subjects that they talk about in front of a national audience of millions of people every single day. They have a whole research department, and they can't get basic facts right, okay? You have a research department, and you're still getting things wrong routinely. It's one thing if occasionally you get stuff wrong. Okay, I get it. People make mistakes, okay? Every now and then, everybody has to come out and give a formal retraction apology for things they get wrong, okay? You can't get it right all the time. But this just keeps happening over and over and over and over and over again because for whatever reason, these women have become emboldened to just make reckless statements that have now become a liability for ABC and Disney, right? They become a liability. And this is why, again, they should be fired. These people had no business being on a show like this in the first place, right? They're not qualified, right? They're up there for reasons that have nothing to do with what they actually know, okay? They're talking about stories and subjects that they know nothing about whatsoever, okay? And this is the problem. When you do that, this is what happens, right? You have to come out here and issue apology after apology, retraction after retraction, because even during the retractions and the apologies, they're still trying to make reckless statements, right? Again, they should be fired and replaced with women who actually know what they're talking about, okay? I don't care if they're left-leaning, right-leaning. I don't care. Just, you can't have women, you can't have people on national TV that are trying to associate nonprofits with neo-Nazis, okay, with no evidence whatsoever, right? And then reluctantly wants to give retractions and still ends up getting their company and their business in more hot water. Again, you can't have this. You can't have this. So, like I said, man, Whoopi Goldberg, wow. She has been utterly humiliated by Charlie Kirk in Turning Point USA, and I have loved every single last second of this. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.